Hi, I'm Jay Diamond, dating and love coach. You can find me at jaydiamond.co.uk. So I'm answering some questions. This one is how to stop being the mother in your relationship. The man's always expecting you to have an answer to everything and always wanting you to solve his simple problems. Who can identify with this? Put a comment if you can. When sometimes a quick Google would help. Always expects the woman to be the organizer, choosing where to go and what to do, and pushing him to be ready on time by setting alarms. Oh, there's so much in this. So, there is a difference between being a woman who supports and nourishes and uplifts and being a mother. And yes, indeed, you have identified correctly. That is definitely being a mother in your relationship, and it will kill your sex life eventually if it hasn't already. And it often creates resentment in your relationship, which is really interesting because often you find it, and both men and women do this. Lots of different people do this for different reasons. But here's the thing, it stops when you stop. And it is as simple, yet maybe not easy. I'm noticing my hair sticking up. It's as simple, but maybe not easy as that. It stops when you stop. You see, it's so easy to point the finger and say, you're making me do this. He's not making you do anything. I have to set an alarm or you don't. I mean, you shouldn't be setting his alarms for him. He's a grown-ass man. And here's the thing. Here's the shocking thing that we forget. This guy managed, usually, his alarms before he met you. And should you part ways, often they'll find a way to manage their alarms without you. And various other things, right? So this is where you have to look at your piece of this pie and where it all fits together and how to start changing and shifting the patterns that you've set up together, that kind of usually make you both feel comfortable, because this is quite codependent, and this is the sneaky piece of codependence. It's not, there's not a massive, addiction to deal with. Codependence, this word came from people who were the spouses of addicts. Why didn't they leave straight away? The ways that they would enable the behavior of this drug addict or alcohol addict and things like that. And often it came from a place of love and of fear. So what I would ask you, if you want to stop being the mother in any relationship that you're in, is what is the fear that you have if you don't do that? And are you worrying unnecessarily about this grown person who actually is responsible for themselves? You're not responsible for him. You can assist, but what's happening is, where you're taking this mother role, is you're caring for his needs more than he is. So he doesn't get to learn to take care of his own needs, does he? Because you do it for him. If he's asking you things that a quick Google would manage, say, Google it. I'm not your Google. He's expecting you to have an answer to everything because you're in the mother role and he's not in the provider role. He's seeing you as the provider in the relationship and caretaker. So this takes time to unravel. One of the best programs that I have is Radiant Love. And I recommend this actually to anybody to get a healthy basis for relationships, because there's 10 energy clearings in there and a lot of Q&As that go into specifics and techniques that you can use and things that you can say to create more healthy dynamics. I would strongly recommend you look at that program. Also on January 4th, I'm relaunching Cherished. And this is all about being in the feminine. Now, if you're already in a relationship, this is good for you. Yes, it's geared to single women, but you need this in your relationship. Why? So this doesn't happen. Because it teaches the dynamic of leading with the feminine inside of your relationship so that you're not becoming a grown man's caretaker, and that you can, be treated like a queen and get the very best out of men. And unfortunately, you don't get the best out of a man when you're mothering him. And there can be all sorts of reasons why this dynamic can happen, but essentially he's responsible for him and you're responsible for you. So what you need to do is to unpick yourself from taking responsibility for him. Does that make sense? So I would have a look at Radiant Love, and I would seriously consider joining Cherished January 4th. We still have a few days left. Drinking my coffee as we go, because it's all about the feminine inside of relationship. Now, this is the feminine, but this is not the feminine that you want to be inside of your romantic relationship, because it will kill the romance eventually, and it can cause resentment, passive aggressive behavior. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just telling you what it is. We all know. I don't talk about what's politically correct, how it should be. I talk to you about what it is, what usually comes through. So it's time for you to, as you allow yourself to let go of control, which actually this is what a piece of this is, and you might not even be aware of that. The fear of what will happen to you if I let go. And there can be lots of reasons for this. What will happen to me if I let go? Working through that and releasing it so that you can be in the feminine in your relationship. And actually, once you do that, 9 times out of 10, it will activate him into his masculinity, into his masculine energy. This is the same in a same-sex relationship if you're in predominantly the feminine pole of energy. It will further activate, but you'll probably get a pushback first. In fact, you'll get a little while of a pushback. But once you know the reason that you're doing it and you start to see the results, you'll be happy. Because here's the thing, you probably don't want to be mothered in your relationship either. If he were to say, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to do it, you need to be up by this time, you've got to do this, you need to do that, why haven't you done this, why haven't you done that? And I know that he is eliciting that from you. However, it's not a healthy dynamic for you to stay in long term, because you'll both become very resentful. And this is when our sexual energy can start to shut off, because we're resentful, because we don't view them as lover, as provider. We view them as son. And that will shut down your sexual energy. Okay, so I hope that helps. I'll put a link around for whoever's watching to these programs, and there'll be another video tomorrow.